This is one of the rarest and most expensive BMWs ever made, and it's only going to go up in value. Chances are you've never seen this on the road. Only 50 of these exist, and it was made to mark the 50th year anniversary of BMW M. BMW M was made in 1972, and their first ever car was a souped up version of the E9 CS. It was called the BMW 3.0 CSL. 50 years later, they made this one. Now, the original was so outrageous that they called it the Batmobile. So this is kind of BMW's new Batmobile. What's interesting about this car is that not only is it iconic and limited, but it's also handcrafted. It took 30 specialists 10 days to make this car, and the livery is hand painted. Took 6 days with 8 different paint layers. The white is called Alpine White. It looks amazing, to be honest. This car is extremely special. If you're looking to buy this car, we actually have this exact one available on our very own car auction platform, sbxcars.com. We'll leave a link in the description box below. If you do want to bid it, good luck. It's an amazing car. And again, because of how limited and iconic it is, this car will only shoot up in value. This is a museum piece, and BMW themselves have called this a Picasso. Now, Alex filmed the homage version concept of this car. And back then when she filmed it, the comments were overwhelmingly supportive.
What?
The car in general looks amazing. They did a really good job with a lot of things. Now, when this car came out, the BMW M3 and M4 got a facelift, and the grills were a very hot topic. It was very controversial. They had those elongated coffin-like grills. This car is similar in shape and size to an M3 or an M4, but they got the grills perfect. So when you look down at the grills, they're not this long kind of rabbit tooth slim look. They're actually wider, proportionate. They have this kind of triangle pattern going down the middle. So the grill was specifically made for this car. I hope that maybe someday they use this grille for future M3s or M4s, but it also has this kind of brushed aluminum contour on the sides, and in the middle you have the 50th year anniversary BMW badge. Now these colors, as I mentioned before, are everywhere. This is all hand painted with the assistance of lasers to get this precise, and it took 6 days to make. You're going to see this paint job and livery just about everywhere. It's also integrated into the carbon fiber right here. The entire body is carbon fiber, and this bonnet is unlike anything we've seen from BMW so far. What's interesting about it, apart from it also being carbon fiber, is that it looks like the bodywork weaves into the bonnet. So you see how it looks like it's going under the hood and coming out the other side? That's super cool. I think they did an amazing job with how this looks. Now, there's a couple of references to the previous car from the 70s, such as this circular intake. The original one had this too. And also these pieces on the side, the carbon fiber strips, that's from that. Now you're gonna see that the headlights, when you turn them on, are actually yellow. And that's obviously an ode to the previous headlights back then. In terms of the rims, you have lightweight, center locking golden rims. Again, the color is a tribute to the previous version in the 70s. Carbon ceramic brakes, and the tires, if you look closely, have a 50 on them. So these tires were made specifically for this car. These are Michelin Pilot Sport 4Ss, and they're the 50th year anniversary just for this car. Along the side, in case you haven't noticed, there's a gigantic 50. So the 50 just marks the 50th year anniversary. And again, when we think of things like anniversaries, you know, there's some years that are more iconic than others. So probably 10-year anniversary, 25-year, 50, 100 years. 50 is a big one, and that's why they've also kept this car limited to just 50 editions. The original 3-liter CSL had 167 units ever made, so that car itself was already iconic. We've seen a lot of CSLs on the M4, for example, recently, but the 3-liter CSL, that's how you know that you're getting the ultra rare performance one. This is absolutely top of the top, best you can get. And they want to make it clear by putting a 50 on there too. So on the top, you have the 50 as well. Now this is exposed carbon fiber. Don't forget the entire body is carbon fiber. Here with the paintwork, they've just kind of revealed it. Nice little details. You'll notice in the bodywork, you see these two indentations going through, giving it a more aerodynamic feel. And the side of the car sticks out. You can actually see that from here. It's interesting how it kind of comes out, like covers the wheel arch and then just kind of comes back in towards the door. Now, on the side, this BMW logo is a tribute to the original 3-liter CSL. They had that one too. This is kind of a tribute to that. And up top, we have the roof spoiler. This is a smaller one than the one in the back, but the original 3-liter CSL also had that too. Going to the back, the spoiler is very, very cool, and I love the fact that it's angled like this. It just makes everything feel more like it's being left behind, you know, in the wind with the speed. It just feels very elongated. It's more streamlined. It's nice. It's cool. It has a nice little carbon fiber tip at the very end. Also M power and carbon fiber. I love the combination of colors and exposed carbon fiber that they use on this car. And there it is, the badge. In case you're wondering what 3-liter CSL even stands for, this is obviously, well, this is a 3-liter straight 6. And CSL stands for Coupe Sports Lightweight. The lightweight aspect of it can be seen with all the carbon fiber. They tried to reduce as much weight as possible. Back then, it was obviously lightweight, so they did that too. And this spoiler is less extreme than the original 3-liter CSL from the 70s. Back then, it was just enormous. It just looked crazy. And it was so absurd that it wasn't allowed to legally be sold in Germany. So what they would do is they would get the spoiler and deliver it to you inside of the trunk for you to later install by yourself. I think that's pretty cool. And that's also kind of why it got the name the Batmobile. The taillights, you can see those lines. These are the BMW laser taillights, and they're probably my favorite taillights that BMW makes. They look amazing, especially when you turn them on. They look very good, very nice, very futuristic. And at the back, you have the titanium quad exhaust system, of course. But what's interesting is that the license plate area is actually down here. Now, the M4 has it a little bit higher. This one's down here. And again, in general, the back looks great. Let's just be honest, it looks amazing. Coming over to the driver's side, we're gonna hop inside so you guys can have a little bit of a look. These are competition style side view mirrors, that kind of, you know, spacing in between the tips, I think looks great. So going inside, you'll immediately see carbon fiber bucket seats. And the inside looks somewhat similar to the interior of an M4, but it is pretty different. So first of all, just to remind you, 3-liter CSL, by the way, you'll notice that the sticker is still on there. This car only has 30 kilometers on it, 30 kilometers, brand spanking new. The kilometers basically come from being driven up and down the driveway. So when we go inside, my favorite part of the interior of this car is the gear selector. So when you go down the middle, I mean, this would be my dream setup. It's a front engine, rear wheel drive, finely tuned chassis, and it's a 6-speed manual. Let's hop inside. The bucket seat is wrapped in Alcantara leather, but it's carbon fiber. Back here, you just have 3SL as the badge. You have horizontal stitching and an Alcantara wrapped steering wheel. As you might be familiar with BMWs now, it has the M1 and the M2. This is to personalize your driver setup, and the steering wheel itself underneath it, you can also see it's more carbon fiber. You have the race stripe going down the middle, and if you have a BMW, this setup in general is very familiar. Everything is focused towards the driver, so it's more angled this way. It's telling me hola, because we're in Spain. And to be honest, if you take a look at the back seat, that's basically for storage. There's no back seats at all, but it does have a surprising amount of space back there. So with a car like this, you'd maybe expect it to just have, you know, kind of like a wall. No, I mean, you can fit luggage in there. Not that you should. I don't think you should ever be using this car as a GT, but just know that you do have it if the situation arises. So let's turn it on. The start stop is in red right there, as you can see, right there. We'll turn it on. And what's cool as well, like with all BMWs, 3-liter CSL at the top of the gauge, and you can even see the paint job. How cool is that? You can actually see the 50-year anniversary paint job on it in the gauge itself. That's super cool. This vehicle is number 41 of 50, which is pretty cool. 3-liter CSL etched into the leather. Let's listen to it rev. Ready? lightweight bonnet, all carbon fiber, and there it is, the engine. 3-liter straight six, produces 560 horsepower. Now, there's no official metrics on the 0 to 100 time, but this car is all about having fun on the track and on the road. You can see the engine block right there, very clean. The M badge right down the middle, iconic. And you can see huge turbos on the side. It's just a great looking car, great looking engine. The M right there is also badged into the underside of the bonnet. Closing this up. And that right there is a BMW 3-liter CSL. If you want to get this car, you can find it on sbxcars.com. I'll leave a link in the description box below. The ultimate place for premium cars. If you want to buy or sell, it's all there. This car is currently on auction. Best of luck. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you guys next time.